We are grateful that you have made the effort to be here, defying distances, disinformation campaigns, and in many cases pressure from your own governments. Your presence in Cuba is an act of courage and consistency because coming to Cuba today, amid the tightening of the blockade and imperialist hostility, is a gesture of militant solidarity that honors Fidel's legacy. The U.S. has neither the moral standing nor any right to point the finger at Cuba, which has possibly been the most spied-on nation by them and the target of the largest funds for economic and ideological subversion. The blockade, intensified in recent years, is not just an economic measure. It is an act of undeclared war against a people who chose to be free. It is a systematic attempt to subdue by hunger and despair a nation that has shown for more than 6 decades that dignity is not negotiable. I do not exaggerate when I say that this colloquium is being held at one of the most difficult moments the revolution has lived through. But we are not here to administer nostalgia. We are here because Fidel Castro's thought remains the most precise compass we have to navigate the storm the Cuban people are living through. Yes, we have many shortages. We are weighed down by blackouts, the lack of water, inflation, and queues, but no material shortage has extinguished the flame of solidarity in which Fidel educated us. It is about continuing socialist construction on a small island threatened by the greatest imperialism in the history of humankind and completely blockaded, whose state's sources of resources, financing, and trade are all cut off. Faced with this dilemma, we need to produce and generate wealth to redistribute with as much social justice as possible and to preserve the revolution's historic and essential gains in strategic areas such as health, education, culture, science, energy, and communications. I want to emphasize that this is a process to energize the economy, not to establish capitalism. There will be no wholesale privatization. The fundamental means of production remain in the hands of the people, and above all, sovereignty and national independence are preserved. For such a complex process, the Communist Party of Cuba, as the superior leading force of the state and society, stands as the principal body responsible for its conduct, coordination, and control, and as a zealous guardian of the interests of the people, of the working class, of social gains, and of the social justice that has driven the revolution from its beginnings. And you, participants in this colloquium, intellectuals and activists who have made his thought your own, have a decisive role. We call on you to spread the truth of Cuba and of all peoples and resistance in a world where the big media manufacture lies and convenient narratives. You have the responsibility to be spokespeople for the reality we Cubans live. A reality of shortage, yes, but also of achievements, of solidarity, and of hope. The battle of ideas today is waged in the digital sphere against technological illiteracy and new forms of cultural colonization. You must build effective networks of solidarity. It is not enough to make speeches. Support must be translated into concrete actions. Campaigns for the lifting of the blockade, proposals for scientific and cultural cooperation, fair trade projects, denunciations before international organizations. I call on all followers and scholars of his legacy to work for unity, to overcome secondary divisions so we can focus on what is essential, the struggle against capitalism and imperialism. The future is not written. We have the power to write it. Yes, the empire is powerful, but history is on the side of the peoples. Every child who learns to read in a Cuban school, when there is no electricity, Every farmer who cultivates using agroecology, every scientist who researches without patents, every young person active in a social movement, every mother who defends her children from violence is an anticipated victory.